The giant ship moved slowly across the black space. It was 10 miles long, shaped like a spear, and glowed with blue light. Smaller ships flew around it like fish around a shark. This was the Divine Light Asterisk, the most powerful ship of the Day One Empire. Commander Han Su stood tall on the bridge. His dark uniform had gold marks that showed his high rank. He was watching a blue planet on the main screen. "Commander, all systems ready. We can reach Earth in 6 hours," said Officer Kang, who controlled the ship's movement. Han Su nodded. "Good. Prepare the welcome message. We will follow the divine plan as always." The divine plan. Han Su had used it 20 times before. The Day One would come to a new planet, show their amazing power, and the local people would think they were gods. It always worked. For 5,000 years, the Day One Empire had ruled many galaxies. Their technology was so advanced that other races thought it was magic. The Day One liked this. They wanted to be seen as gods. It made ruling easier. Science Officer Sun Mei walked to Han Su's side. She was short but had sharp eyes that missed nothing. "Commander, I have the report on Earth," she said. "They have basic space travel but have only reached their own moon. They have many weapons but nothing that can hurt our ships. They are divided into many countries. They fight often." Han Su smiled. "Perfect. Like all the others. Easy to impress, easy to control." The truth was, Han Su was bored. Every new planet was the same story. The local people would be afraid, then amazed, then they would worship the Day One. Han Su had seen it many times. He hoped these humans might be a little different, a little more interesting. What about their minds? Their culture? He asked. Sun Mei looked at her screen. They are curious. They ask many questions. They make much art and music. They have many gods already, but most don't really believe in them anymore. So they need new gods, Han Su said. We will give them what they need. Far behind them, in another galaxy, Grand Emperor Jiho was waiting for news. The emperor had ruled for 800 years. His body was mostly machine now, helping him live far longer than normal. He had sent Han Su to find new worlds to add to the empire. Send a message to the emperor, Han Su told communications officer Du Young. Tell him we have found a good world. The humans will serve the Day One well. Du Young sent the message, but it would take days to reach the emperor. Han Su turned to his crew. We will follow the usual plan. First, we show ourselves. Then we show our power. Then we accept their worship. The crew had done this many times. They knew what to do. As the Divine Light moved toward Earth, human scientists noticed it. In a control room in Seoul, South Korea, a young scientist named Dr. Kim Tai was the first to see the strange object on his screen. Director Park, come see this, he called. Director Park Jin walked over. He was an older man with gray hair and a serious face. He had led the Space Research Center for 15 years. What is it, Dr. Kim? Something big is coming toward Earth. It's moving too straight to be a comet or asteroid. And look at this energy reading. It's huge. Director Park looked at the screen and frowned. Call the Defense Ministry. Now. Within hours, governments around the world knew about the approaching ship. Some people panicked. Others were excited. Everyone had questions. In a big room in New York, world leaders met quickly to discuss what to do. We must prepare our weapons, said one leader. No, we should try to talk to them first, said another. What if they come in peace? This could be the greatest moment in human history, said a third. They argued for hours but finally agreed on a plan. They would try to talk first, but also get weapons ready just in case. They created a small team to speak for all humans. Ambassador Li Min was chosen to lead this team. She was calm, smart, and good at understanding different cultures. She had solved many problems between countries on Earth. This will be the hardest job of your life, the UN secretary told her. I know, she said simply, But someone must do it. Back on the asterisk, Divine Light asterisk, Han Su watched Earth get closer on his screen. They have noticed us, Sun Mai reported. Their radio signals have increased by 500%. They are talking about us all over their planet. Good, said Han Su. They should be excited to meet their new gods. He didn't know that on Earth, Dr. Kim Tai was doing something no one from other planets had done before. He was studying the Day One ship carefully with new tools he had built himself. The energy pattern is like nothing I've seen, Dr. Kim told Director Park. But there's something familiar about how it moves. It's like they're bending space somehow. Like our quantum fold experiments, asked Director Park. Yes, but much more advanced. They're doing what we've only dreamed of. Dr. Kim's eyes were bright with excitement. If they can do that, what else can they do? The asterisk Divine Light asterisk stopped just outside Earth's moon orbit. Han Su decided it was time for the first message. He stood straight and looked at the camera. Behind him, the ship's bridge looked impressive with its glowing screens and strange technology. People of Earth, he said in a strong voice, I am Commander Han Su of the Day One Empire. We have ruled the stars for 5,000 years. We have come to bring you knowledge, peace, and order. We are what your ancestors would have called gods. Prepare to receive us. The message was sent in all Earth languages at once, appearing on every screen and device on the planet. On Earth, people reacted in many ways. Some were afraid. Some were angry at the word gods. Others were curious or even happy. In the control room in Seoul, Dr. Kim watched the message with Director Park. They think they're gods, Dr. Kim said quietly. Do you believe that? Asked Director Park. No, said Dr. Kim firmly. They have amazing technology, yes. But gods? No, they're just people. Different from us, but still just people. Director Park nodded slowly. I agree. The question is, how do we make them see that we won't worship them? In New York, Ambassador Lee was thinking the same thing. She worked with her team to craft a response. We need to be respectful but firm, she told them. We can't appear weak or scared, but we also can't be aggressive. After careful work, they sent their answer to the asterisk Divine Light asterisk. Day One visitors, this is Ambassador Lee Min speaking for Earth. We welcome you and are interested in peaceful talks. We respect your advanced development, but do not accept claims of divinity. We invite you to meet with our representatives to discuss how our peoples can learn from each other. On the asterisk Divine Light asterisk, Han Su was surprised by the message. He read it again. They don't accept us as gods, he said, frowning. This is new. Officer Sun Me checked her screens. Sir, they are scanning us. Their technology should not be able to do that, but they are trying to study our ship. This made Han Su even more surprised. Other planets had always been too afraid or too impressed to try studying the Day One ships. These humans were different. Interesting, he said. For the first time in years, Han Su felt truly curious. These humans might not be so boring after all. He turned to his crew. Prepare for the divine demonstration. Let's show them what real power looks like. The asterisk Divine Light asterisk began to glow brighter. Soon the humans would see things they had never imagined. Han Su was sure they would be on their knees by the end of the day. But on Earth, Dr. Kim Tai was already working on something that would surprise the Day One. As he studied their ship, he started to understand how it worked. And he had ideas that might change everything. The first meeting between humans and the self-proclaimed gods was about to begin. Neither side knew that this day would change the history of two galaxies forever. The asterisk Divine Light asterisk hung in space like a giant blue star. Smaller ships flew from it toward Earth. One of these ships carried Commander Han Su and Science Officer Sun Me. They were going to meet the humans face to face. Remember, Han Su told his team, act like gods. Be calm. Be sure. Never show doubt. The Day One ship landed in a large open area near New York City. Thousands of humans watched from a safe distance. Soldiers stood in lines, their weapons ready but not pointed at visitors. Han Su stepped out of the ship first. He wore a special suit that made him glow slightly. It was made to impress the humans. Behind him came Sun Mei and 5 other Day One officers. A small group of humans walked toward them. Ambassador Li Min led them. With her were Director Park Jin, Dr. Kim Tai, and leaders from different Earth countries. "Welcome to Earth," Ambassador Li said with a small bow. "We are honored by your visit." Han Su looked down at her. The Day One were taller than humans by about 2 feet. "We do not visit," he said in a loud voice. "We arrive. We bring order. We bring truth." Ambassador Li kept her face calm. "We already have order and seek our own truths. But we welcome peaceful exchange of knowledge." Han Su frowned slightly. This was not how it usually went. "You do not understand," he said. "We are the Day One. For 5,000 years, we have guided lesser beings toward better lives under our rule." Dr. Kim stepped forward. "Commander Han Su, your technology is amazing. We would like to learn about it. We offer our own knowledge in return." Han Su almost laughed. "What could you teach us? Your science is like a child's drawing next to our great works." "Perhaps," Dr. Kim said with a small smile. "But children sometimes see things adults miss." This strange answer made Han Su pause. These humans were not afraid enough. They did not seem ready to worship the Day One. "You will see our power," Han Su said. "Then you will understand." He raised his hand, and the sky above them changed. Clouds formed into shapes, perfect circles, squares, and triangles. Then the clouds turned different colors: red, green, blue. The human crowd gasped, but Ambassador Li and her team just watched calmly. "Weather control," Dr. Kim said quietly. "Impressive." Han Su pointed to a dead tree nearby. Energy flowed from his hand, and the tree suddenly bloomed with leaves and flowers. "Life from death," Han Su announced. "The power of gods." Director Park nodded. "Cellular regeneration technology. Very advanced." Han Su was becoming annoyed. The humans were analyzing his miracles instead of being amazed by them. This had never happened before. "Take us to your leaders," Han Su demanded. "We will show them more of our power." "We are the leaders," Ambassador Li said. "I speak for Earth in this meeting." "No, you are just messengers," Han Su said. "I will speak to your world rulers." Ambassador Li smiled politely. "Our world has many governments. I have been chosen to represent them all for this first meeting. If you wish to meet others, that can be arranged later." Han Su did not like this. The humans were not following his plan. On other worlds, people would be bowing by now, offering gifts, asking the Day One to rule them. "Very well," he said coldly. "You will come to our ship. There you will see true wonders." The human team followed Han Su back to his ship. They flew up to the asterisk, Divine Light asterisk. As they entered the giant ship, Han Su watched the humans carefully. Now they would be impressed. The inside of the asterisk, Divine Light asterisk, was amazing. Lights floated in the air. Doors opened by themselves. Rooms changed shape as they walked through them. But Dr. Kim was looking at everything with keen eyes. He had a small device in his pocket that was recording everything. "This is our control room," Han Su said, showing them a large room with many screens and strange machines. "Interesting," Dr. Kim said. "Your controls are thought-based, aren't they? We've been working on similar technology, but ours is very basic compared to this." Sun Mei looked surprised. "How did you know that?" Dr. Kim smiled. "The lack of physical controls was a clue, and the way the systems respond to your officers without them touching anything." Sun Mei looked at Han Su with worry in her eyes. These humans understood too much too quickly. Han Su decided to show his greatest power. He touched a screen, and a view of Earth appeared. "Watch," he said. He moved his fingers, and a small storm formed over the Atlantic Ocean. I can make this storm hit your cities, or I can make it disappear." He moved his hand again, and the storm faded away. "We control nature itself," Han Su said proudly. "We can bring good weather or bad. We can make crops grow or fail. We can raise mountains or flatten them." Ambassador Li watched calmly. "This is why you call yourselves gods." "Yes," Han Su said. "We have power over all things." "I see," she said. "And the other worlds you rule, they'd worship you for this power." "They do. They give us their loyalty, their resources, their service. In return, we give them peace and order." Dr. Kim looked thoughtful. "May I ask how your storm control works? Does it use gravitational manipulation to control air pressure?" Han Su stared at him. How could this human guess their methods? Sun Me checked her scanner secretly. "Commander," she whispered, "the human has a recording device. He is studying our technology." Han Su became angry. "Give me that device," he demanded. Dr. Kim handed it over without argument. "Just taking notes," he said calmly. "We learn by studying." Han Su crushed the device in his hand. "You do not study gods. You obey them." Ambassador Li stepped forward. "Commander Han Su, let me be clear. Earth will not worship the Day One. We respect your advanced civilization. We welcome friendship and exchange of knowledge. But we will not serve you or call you gods." The room became very quiet. The Day One officers looked shocked. No one had ever spoken to them this way. "You refuse our divine rule?" Han Su asked slowly. "We do," Ambassador Li said firmly. "Humans do not worship other beings, no matter how powerful their technology." Han Su's face became dark with anger. "Then you choose the hard path. Others have tried to resist. All have failed." "We are not others," Director Park said. "We are humans." Han Su turned away. "Return them to Earth," he ordered his officers. "Prepare the divine punishment protocol." As the humans were led away, Dr. Kim whispered to Ambassador Li, "I saw enough. Their technology is amazing but not magic. They bend space, control energy, and use advanced biology. But it's all science, not divine power. Can we defend against them?" Director Park asked quietly. "Maybe," Dr. Kim said. "I need to study what I saw. Their systems have patterns. All science has patterns." Back on Earth, governments began preparing for trouble. They knew the Day One might attack. In his lab in Seoul, Dr. Kim worked day and night. Even though his recording device was taken, his mind had stored many details. He drew diagrams, made calculations, and built small models. "Their power comes from energy fields," he told Director Park. "They make fields that can change matter, control weather, and bend light. If we can make similar fields that push against theirs." On the asterisk, Divine Light asterisk, Han Su reported to Grand Emperor Jeho through a special communication system. "The humans refuse to worship us," he said. "They study our technology instead of fearing it." The Emperor's face showed surprise. "This has never happened before." "What should I do, Emperor?" "Show them real power," Jeho ordered. "Make them fear the Day One. Break their pride." Han Su bowed. "Yes, Emperor." Sun Me came to Han Su after the call. "Commander, these humans are different. Their minds work quickly. They see patterns and make connections faster than any species we've met." "It doesn't matter," Han Su said. "Even if they understand our technology, they cannot match it. We have had 5,000 years to perfect it." "But what if they don't need 5,000 years?" Sun Me asked quietly. Han Su had no answer for this. He looked at Earth on his screen. Soon, he would teach these humans to fear their gods. But deep inside, for the first time in his long life, Han Su felt a small touch of doubt. 5 days after the meeting, Han Su was ready. 20 smaller ships from the asterisk, Divine Light asterisk, moved into position above Earth's largest cities. Each ship was half a mile wide and glowed with blue energy. All ships in position, Commander, Officer Kang reported. Good, Han Su said. Begin the first phase of divine punishment. All around Earth, the Day One ships sent out energy waves that shut down electricity. Cities went dark. Cars stopped. Phones died. Planes had to make emergency landings. Han Su's face appeared on every working screen and device left on the planet. People of Earth, he said in a cold voice, you have refused the divine rule of the Day One. Now you will learn the cost of your pride. For one day, we take away your power. Tomorrow, we can take away your water, your food, or your air. Bow to the Day One, and we will restore what we have taken and give you gifts instead of punishment. In the darkness of Seoul, Dr. Kim Ta worked in his lab. It still had power because he had built special shields after studying the Day One ship. They're using electromagnetic pulse waves, he told Director Park. Strong but simple. Can we block them? Director Park asked. Already doing it, Dr. Kim said. But that's just the beginning. I've been working on something bigger. He showed Director Park a strange device. It was round and had many wires and lights. What is it? Director Park asked. I call it a field disruptor, Dr. Kim said. It makes an energy field that pushes against their control fields. It won't stop them completely, but it will weaken them. Director Park looked impressed. You made this in 5 days. Based on their own technology, Dr. Kim said. They had 5,000 years to develop it. I've had 5 days to copy it. He smiled. But humans are good at copying. All around the world, human scientists were working on similar devices. They shared information through special channels that the Day One couldn't block. Within hours, they had plans for field disruptors ready for every major city. In New York, Ambassador Lee met with world leaders in an underground room that was protected from the Day One's energy waves. We must stand together, she told them. The Day One expect us to give up because they cut our power. They think we are weak. Some people are scared, said one leader. They want us to give in to stop the punishment. That would be a mistake, Ambassador Lee said. The Day One don't want partners. They want servants. If we bow now, we will never stand again. The leaders agreed to fight back, but they needed time for the scientists to finish their work. Ambassador Lee sent a message to Han Su. We request 24 hours to discuss your demands among our people. Han Su was pleased. He thought the humans were ready to give up. They begin to break, he told Sun Mai. Soon they will beg for our mercy. Sun Mai wasn't so sure. Commander, my scans show unusual energy patterns in some cities. The humans are building something. What could they build that would matter? Han Su asked. Their technology is too simple to hurt us. Maybe, Sun Mai said, but they learn very quickly. Han Su ignored her warning. Give them 24 hours. Then we will take away their water systems if they do not bow to us. In his lab, Dr. Kim finished the main field disruptor. It was bigger than the first one he showed Director Park. It's ready, he said. Let's get it to the roof. They carried the device up many stairs to the roof of the lab building. Above them, a Day One ship hung in the sky like a dark cloud. Will it work? Director Park asked. Only one way to find out, Dr. Kim said. He turned on the device. The field disruptor hummed and glowed. Energy waves spread out from it in all directions. When they reached the Day One ship, something amazing happened. The ship's blue glow flickered and weakened. On the ship, alarms started to sound. What's happening? The ship captain shouted. Energy field disruption. An officer answered. Coming from the surface. Our control systems are weakening. The ship began to drift lower in the sky. Its perfect position was slipping. All across Earth, similar scenes played out. In London, Tokyo, Cairo, and other cities, human scientists activated field disruptors. Not all worked perfectly, but many did. Day One ships began to lose power or drift out of position. On the asterisk, Divine Light asterisk, Han Su received alarming reports. 7 ships report energy disruptions, Officer Kang said with fear in his voice. 3 have lost position control and are drifting. Impossible, Han Su shouted. How could they affect our ships? Sun Mei checked her screens. The humans have created energy field disruptors. They're similar to our own technology, but modified. In 5 days. Han Su couldn't believe it. No species learns that quickly. These humans do, Sun Mai said quietly. Han Su was angry now. Launch attack drones. Destroy those disruptor devices. Small flying machines left the Day 1 ships and flew toward the sources of the disruption fields. They fired energy beams at buildings where the human devices were placed. In Seoul, Dr. Kim saw the drones coming. They found us. He said to Director Park, "We need to move the disruptor." But before they could move it, a drone fired at their building. The energy beam hit near the roof. The building shook. "Too late," Dr. Kim said. "But I expected this." He pulled out a small control pad. "I made more than one disruptor." He pressed buttons on the pad, and all across Seoul, smaller disruptors turned on. They were hidden on different buildings. The Day 1 drone fired again, destroying the main disruptor, but the smaller ones kept working. The Day 1 ship still couldn't regain full power. Similar battles happened in other cities. The humans lost some disruptors, but always had more ready. They had learned from the Day 1's own tactics. Han Su was shocked by the reports coming in. How are they doing this? How do they know our weaknesses? They studied us, Sun Mai said. Remember the human scientist who recorded our technology? He understood it. He saw patterns we didn't think they could see. For the first time, Han Su felt real fear. Not for himself, but for the Day 1 Empire. If humans could learn this quickly, what would happen if the fight continued? He called Grand Emperor Jiao. "Emperor, we have a problem. The humans have developed technology that can disrupt our ships. They learned from studying us." The Emperor's face showed disbelief. No primitive species has ever done this. "These humans are not like others," Han Su admitted. "They learn at an amazing speed." "Then we must strike harder," the Emperor decided. "I will come myself with the Imperial fleet. We will crush this resistance with our full might." Han Su bowed. "Yes, Emperor." After the call ended, Han Su looked at Earth on his screen. These humans had surprised him. They refused to worship gods. They studied instead of feared. They learned instead of obeyed. "Order all ships to pull back to higher orbit," he told Officer Kang. "Stay out of range of their disruptor fields." "Retreating, Commander?" Kang asked with surprise. "Not retreating. Regrouping," Han Su said. "The Emperor is coming. Then the humans will face our true power." But as the Day 1 ships moved higher, Han Su wondered if even the Emperor's fleet would be enough. These humans were different from any beings the Day 1 had ever met. On Earth, people cheered as the Day 1 ships moved away. Power returned to the cities. The first attack had been stopped. In his lab, Dr. Kim was already working on new devices. "They'll be back," he told Director Park, "with more ships and stronger weapons." "Will we be ready?" Director Park asked. Dr. Kim looked at his plans for a new, stronger disruptor. "We will. That's what humans do. We get ready. We adapt. We survive." Ambassador Lee addressed the people of Earth. "Today we showed that the Day 1 are not gods. They are just beings with advanced technology. And any technology can be understood, copied, and improved. We have won the first battle. But the war is just beginning. Stay strong, Earth. Stay human." In space, Han Su watched and listened. These humans were proud and confident. Soon, they would face the full might of the Day 1 Empire. Then they would learn that some powers are too great to resist. But deep inside, a small voice told him that humans might prove that no power is too great for them to overcome. And that thought scared him more than he wanted to admit. 3 weeks passed. On Earth, humans worked day and night to prepare for the next attack. They knew the Day One would return with more ships and stronger weapons. Dr. Kim had barely slept. His lab was filled with new devices and plans. Scientists from around the world sent him their ideas, and he shared his with them. Together, they were creating defenses that no one thought possible just a month ago. "You need to rest," Director Park told him. Dr. Kim shook his head. "No time. The Emperor's fleet will be here soon." He pointed to a screen showing space around Earth. Many new dots of light were appearing. The Imperial fleet had arrived. The Day One Imperial fleet was huge. 50 large ships surrounded the asterisk Divine Light asterisk. In the center was the Emperor's own ship, the asterisk Eternal Glory asterisk. It was twice as big as the asterisk Divine Light asterisk and glowed with golden light. Grand Emperor Jeho stood on his ship's bridge. He was very tall, even for a Day One. Parts of his body had been replaced with machine parts to help him live longer. His eyes glowed slightly with artificial light. "Show me these troublesome humans," he ordered. Han Su bowed low. "Yes, Emperor. We have images from their major cities." Screens showed humans building strange devices. Some looked like the field disruptors that had weakened the Day One ships. Others were new weapons that the Day One had never seen before. "They work quickly," the Emperor noted. "Too quickly," Han Su said. "They learn and build faster than any species we've met." The Emperor was quiet for a moment. "In 5,000 years, the Day One have ruled without challenge. We cannot allow these humans to be the first to defy us." He turned to his generals. "Prepare all ships. We will show our full power at once. No more small punishments. We will make Earth kneel or make it burn." Ambassador Li knew the Imperial fleet had arrived. She called an emergency meeting with world leaders. "The Day One Emperor is here with many ships," she told them. "Our scientists say they have much more power than the ships we faced before." "Can we fight them?" asked one leader. Dr. Kim stood up. "We have improved our field disruptors. They are 10 times stronger now, but the Imperial fleet is very powerful. We need something more." "What do you suggest?" Ambassador Li asked. Dr. Kim smiled slightly. "I think we should talk to them one more time." The leaders were surprised. "Talk? Now?" "Yes," Dr. Kim said. "I have an idea." Ambassador Li sent a message to the Imperial fleet. "Grand Emperor Jeho, we request a meeting before any action is taken. We have important information to share with you." On his ship, the Emperor was surprised by the message. "They want to talk. Perhaps they are ready to surrender." Han Su wasn't sure. "Be careful, Emperor. These humans are clever." "I will meet them," the Emperor decided. "Bring their leaders to my ship." A small human ship flew up to the asterisk Eternal Glory asterisk. Inside were Ambassador Li, Dr. Kim, Director Park, and other human leaders. They were brought to the Emperor's Grand Hall. It was huge, with gold walls and strange lights floating in the air. The Emperor sat on a high chair that looked like a throne. "Humans," the Emperor said in a deep voice. "You have caused much trouble. Have you come to offer your surrender?" Ambassador Li stepped forward. "No, Emperor. We have come to offer an alliance." The Emperor laughed. "Alliance? The Day One do not make alliances with lesser beings. We rule them." "That approach may have worked for 5,000 years," Ambassador Li said calmly, "but it will not work with humans." Dr. Kim stepped forward with a small device. "May I show you something, Emperor?" The Emperor nodded, curious. Dr. Kim placed the device on the floor. It projected a 3D image in the air. The image showed designs for Day One shield technology, but with changes. "This is your current shield design," Dr. Kim explained. "And this is how it could be improved." The Emperor leaned forward, surprised. The human was right. The design changes would make the shield stronger. "How did you know this?" the Emperor asked. "We study your technology," Dr. Kim said. "Humans are good at seeing patterns and finding ways to make things better. We did this in 3 weeks. Imagine what we could do as partners instead of enemies." The Emperor was silent for a moment. "You offer to help us improve our technology?" "Yes," Ambassador Lee said. "We don't want to be your servants, but we could be valuable allies. Humans learn and adapt quickly. We see things in new ways." Sun Mai, who had been scanning the humans, spoke to the Emperor. "Their brains work differently from any species we've seen. They make connections very quickly." The Emperor thought deeply. For 5,000 years, the Daewon had ruled as gods. But these humans refused to worship them. Instead, they offered partnership. "If I refuse your offer?" the Emperor asked. "Then we fight," Director Park said simply. "We may lose. Your fleet is powerful, but we will damage many of your ships first, and we will keep learning, keep adapting. The next time you come, we will be stronger." The Emperor knew this was true. These humans had created defenses in weeks that other species couldn't make in centuries. "Show me more of your improvements," the Emperor said to Dr. Kim. Dr. Kim changed the image to show other Daewon technologies with human improvements. The Emperor and his scientists were amazed. Some of the changes were simple but brilliant. After hours of discussion, the Emperor made a decision that would change Daewon history. "I will not accept humans as servants," he announced, "but I will accept them as the first true allies of the Daewon Empire." Ambassador Lee smiled. "That is all we ever wanted. Not to serve, but to work together as equals." The Emperor stood. "For 5,000 years, we have called ourselves gods. Perhaps it is time to be something else, partners to a worthy species." Han Su was shocked. Never had the Emperor treated any species as equals, but he also felt relieved. Fighting these humans would have been costly, even with the Imperial fleet. A formal treaty was signed. The Daewon would share some of their technology with humans. Humans would share their unique ideas and improvements. Both species would explore space together. As the human team prepared to return to Earth, the Emperor spoke to Han Su privately. "These humans are different," the Emperor said. "They do not fear what they don't understand. They study it. They learn it. They improve it." "Yes, Emperor," Han Su agreed. "They refuse to see us as gods." "Perhaps that is good," the Emperor said thoughtfully. "Gods are distant and alone. Allies can walk together." On Earth, people celebrated the treaty. There would be no war. Instead, there would be new knowledge and new opportunities. In his lab, Dr. Kim was already working with Daewon scientists. They were surprised by how quickly he understood their work and offered new ideas. "How do you see these patterns so easily?" one Daewon scientist asked him. Dr. Kim smiled. "It's a human thing. We're curious. We question everything, even gods." Han Su watched from the Divine Light asterisk as human and Daewon ships began working together. It was strange to see after thousands of years of ruling other species. "Do you think it was a mistake to call ourselves gods?" he asked Sun Mei. She thought for a moment. "Perhaps. True gods create new things and new ideas. These humans create new ideas faster than anyone we've met. Maybe they are closer to gods than we are." Han Su looked at Earth, the small blue planet that had changed the Daewon Empire forever. "They called themselves humans," he said quietly. And that was enough.